There's a safety car confirmed by summoners, so there was a big crash
Oh, there we go.
for somebody,
I'm back in.
and Hypers is at the back.
Oh, there's just infinite pain for Renault.
And several time penalties as well.
Oh dear.
I assume they are all 5 seconds. So that is.
Crafty's in an invite. If you can get him.
Oh yes, I forgot about that. I did forget about that.
Don't you worry, Crafty, we're getting you in.
Because we got absolutely yeeted as well. I forgot that.
Well,
Mr. Jester got yeeted as well.
Well, let's see what the position changes are like. Dodgy keeps the lead, so something must have happened between Charlie and Lofty then.
Yeah.
Like, if that's what I'm thinking, because everybody's gained.
If
like,
Cameron,
Maxwell, Gareth, and that's all gained 6. And then 8 and 9 for Scott and Baggy.
Just Maxwell things, to be honest. Well, I say that, there's a lot of people who gained from that. Yeah, so obviously, Dodgy's got away cleanly, and then something has happened between Charlie and Lofty, which has caused a concertina effect for the rest of the group. Hypers choosing not to serve his 5-second time penalty under safety car. As he stops, he hasn't stopped either, so he got completely ruined. He obviously hasn't got damage, just got maybe spun or something. So yeah, he's going to have a 5-second time penalty to serve in the pit lane. Looks like Steve-O will have another 5-second time penalty to serve in the pit lane as well. But as for tyres, Steve-O is on the hard compound tyres. So he's going to be probably quite slow. But yeah. Yeah.
Can anybody that is engineering, like, message the stream chat with what happened, because we only just joined on the halfway around lap 1 because we were waiting forever to go, and then the next time we knew, me and Max had both been kicked out of the game. So if anybody that's kind of coaching the drivers, just kind of share what happened in the stream, so like maybe me and Max can elaborate on it a wee bit further, like in the stream, like just so like we can kind of feed what happened into the viewer stream. But
what I do know that happened is that it's still advantage Dodgy. That's what happened. Basically, Hyper's got ruined and Dodgy is still favourite. That's definitely what happened. Hypers is on the back foot still, and well, with Cameron and Maxwell, not usually. Well, I say not usually. Maxwell is the king of comebacks in the race. Cameron not usually at the front of the pack. Did get on the podium in Britain when Maxwell won that race. But yeah, it's still a lot. If there was a lot of work for Hypers to do in the first place, there's even more work for him to do now.
Definitely. Sem's also messaged in the chat saying Maxwell's clipped his start. So Maxwell was looking at leader change, position change. He
just
was
in the top
9th.
10, really. Yeah.
So he was 9. So we'll get to probably see what happens. So is what you were saying. It probably has just been something up at the front of the grid,
considering,
and that's just created the concertina
effect.
effect.
Charlie and Lofty are all the way down there, we expect. But safety car should be in this lap when we cross the second sector split. Comes in quite early because the final sector is one of the longest on the calendar. And there you go. Yeah, final sector is one of the longest on the calendar. So it gives it time for the safety car to go away. Sometimes it comes in late, however, but when it's normal like this, it gives time for the safety car to get away and them not to catch up to the safety car and dictate the pace. And well, the tyres are probably going to be quite cold, especially for those drivers on the mediums at the moment.
Well, definitely looking at it now, Max, we have got a bit of a split grid, as you were saying earlier in the session. We didn't see any big casualties in terms of like big hitters being knocked out early, but now we've got some big hitters in the bottom half of the field, so it'll be interesting to see how quick they can cut their way through on the restart and then the subsequent laps. But we'll just treat this restart as the first lap in the 5 lights. So we're going to have Dodgy leading us away, and I think he's already bolted, Merc, so he isn't really hanging about. He is gone out of turn 21. Oh, he's a bit of slide on there as well. He is keen to get this gone. Oh, and there's contact at the back, and that might be Grumpy Orange having to slot in just behind behind Scott. Scott's managed to gain a place. Grumpy Orange, Baggy fan up in P7, and will sit on board with Russell. Hyper's made a place up to P9, so Hyper's just kind of cutting his way through. I'm not wanting to see what kind of penalty that is in case it is a track limits penalty, so we'll kind of keep obviously we'll try and keep the penalties to an absolute minimum. So he'll serve that in his pit stop. That is absolutely fine.
Russell's over the place. These medium tyres rigs are a little bit cold, as you can tell. Grumpy Orange almost binned it like several drivers did. So, yes, tyres are struggling at the moment, but they'll get up to temperature quickly, I'm sure.
No, definitely. I think it might just maybe have been the fact that like quite a few of the drivers mix looked a bit keen to get the race back underway. And Dodgy was one as well. He wasn't exempt on the sauce. Like he nearly lost the corner at the final corner. But we've got.
We have a spin up. Just as round.
The back of the grid. That's crafty.
I don't know if he got contact, but I saw his car just drift off. I think he just spun coming out of the chicane on his own, which is a shame for Jester. And, well, at the moment he can't really help out his teammate in any capacity at this stage of the race.
I'm going to jump on board with SLR Charlie.
Hypers is side by side.
That's Russell's. That's Russell getting away off, and Hypers is getting knocked wide. Is he going to go the long way round? We're going to see it from a very awkward angle here. Is he going to go side by side? Oh, Russell just keeps the place. Hypers is going to go for it up the inside of turn 20, and he's maybe ran Russell out of road there, but Russell's come back on quite aggressively right in front.
I think he should give him that place, to be honest, but he's not.
He's squeezing him. These camera angles are a bit awkward. Hyper's up the inside. And P8. Russell going to go for the switchback inside of turn 2. And they're going to go side by side. Russell.
Got a flag ahead.
Brave move. And that's lofty. Oh, and that's. Big crash. Big contact.
Safety car.
Safety car
Russell
there.
Just went into Cameron, who was backwards. Oh!
Crafty.
Okay, it's just.
I literally just jumped on board with Crafty there.
Did he just drive into him?
He's just drove right into Cameron.
Oh my god! I don't know. Obviously, Cameron spun, and then as we were on board with that battle, what's his name? I can't remember. Who was it? Russell. Yeah. As we were on board with that battle, Russell kind of lost the car a bit and he kind of like hello there. And drove straight into him, and then Jester's just done the same thing. The
safety car just came out and just drove right into the side into Jester's stricken Renault. So I'm not entirely sure what was going on there. You would have thought the safety car was programmed to go run collisions and debris and everything else, but apparently no.
What did the safety car do? It wasn't really nothing.
Alright, see when the safety car came with Crafty crashed, basically I jumped on board with Crafty and sat on board his Renault, and then the safety car came out the pit lane and just drove right into the side of him.
Great. The indestructible safety car. Oh dear.
It's the unsafety car, it's a dangerous car.
Only did free, but yeah, I do expect to see some pit lane action. Should be a stop vibe as he'll drop to probably the back with the 5 seconds. But he'll be on parity with Dodgy now. So this is probably going to throw the race up completely, even more than the lap 1 safety car that we didn't see. Hyper's having to wait. An AHA does come right at the back. But yeah, I think from now everybody should be making one more stop to the end of the race. With Lofty, the only person on the soft compound tyres, maybe making an early stop and going for the fat undercut on the mediums, but everyone else will likely be on the softs once the pit stops come around. And Stevo as a penalty to his name still. But yeah, so he's on the back foot with that. But yeah, I think everyone should have one more stop left. Chester said, too busy avoiding the Ferrari, I didn't see the other car. Well, yeah, I think that's probably what Russell was thinking as well. He turned around and,
it's not, because, I mean, in fairness though, it is a blind free, isn't it? Like, it is quite blind when you're going around at high speed, because turn 2 is flat, and then turn 3 is flat. Like, it is a flat bit of track. I mean, to be fair, the yellows did come out, so you could maybe have that that kind of argument going on the other side of the hand, but like when you're going through there, it's blind. Like, you don't really see what's in front of you until you're over the crest, really. So maybe Crafty was just a bit like, I mean, it's like he's avoided one car and he just hit the other. Like, it's just one of the freak incidents, isn't it? Like, like when I jumped on board with Crafty, like, to see what happened, like admittedly it kind of looked a bit comical, but like when you're actually the driver, like, your reactions are properly tested, like when things like that happen in front of you. So like you're really kind of like split second decision making is critical to what happens, and I think Crafty was just focused on one car, the other car was just kind of on the other side, and it was just an unfortunate chain of events there.
This is anybody's race.
Aye, definitely.
Scott is leading this race at the moment. Because like I said before, I'm pretty sure everybody has got to make one more stop. I'm pretty sure everyone's just going to do one stop from here. Obviously, people have made 1 or 2 stops already, but I'm pretty sure everyone is going to do one more stop from here. So, yeah, SLR Scott, your favourite LO is, I'm sure Steve would love me saying that. Sorry, Steve. Is leading at the moment.
Definitely. Like, honestly, that's one thing I've kind of noticed. And like, Scott has been one to kind of be picking up the pieces every so often. Like, he does always get himself into situations where he is near the front of the grid, and if he doesn't need to pit, he will be leading the grid away on the safety car, which I think.
I'm surprised he hasn't even
not
had
to throw any.
Not
to throw. Like, I think Scott leading under a safety car is with us as the commentators.
I don't think we got notifications actually, because I just paused the game to see that Steve-O has a drive-through penalty. For hitting someone, Cameron, who's not in this race. So I'm not quite sure.
I mean, the lights are out.
Yeah, safety car.
Sorry, just to cut you off there. Safety car is going to go back in. But Mix, it's going to be Scott leading us away for, I think, the first time as us commentators. I can't remember the last time I've seen him leading away for the safety car, if he ever has, but he is going to be leading us away. Are we going to see any late dives to the pits? We are not. Scott does come out the final corner as the race leader as we start lap 8, and yellow flags turn to green as we go back racing. We've got Gumpy Orange settling in, Baggy Fan, Charlie, Geddes, your top 5, Lofty, Yeti. Oh, he's on a set of soft tyres, so he's the only driver on the red compound tyres, so we'll just jump on board with him. He will need to get past the guys in front, and is he going to go for a late braking move? Oh, he's going to hit it! Oh, that was close there. That was very eager to get by Jay Geddes, and honestly, Max, if he lifted his foot off the brake for a fraction there, he was taking SLR Charlie to the side of the road there, and Charlie probably wouldn't have been. Oh, sorry, my dog's
who let the dogs out? Pipers is making moves in the background up to E13. Max on Gareth going side by side down towards turn 8, and Hyper's late on the brakes.
And he's just tapped Maxwell.
I'm surprised he's managed to save that, to be honest. Charlie's made a move up into P3. while all that's going on. It's all breaking loose down at the back of the grid here. Dodgy hasn't made any progress, but Steve will get out of his way. I should get out of his way at the end of this lap, or whenever, otherwise he's going to get disqualified. Grumpy Orange has made a move for the lead.
For the lead, run outside! Oh, and Grumpy Orange does a wee bit of the old chopping block there, but he does just manage to get his way through. Grumpy Orange leads for Scott, Charlie's up to third, Baggy Fan down to P5, and Lofty up into fourth on a set of softs.
Keep your eye on the front at the moment, it's all breaking loose. Lofty obviously trying to make his way through.
Spin. And that's Colden. That's Colden on turn 20. I just seen it in the background there, it was very faint. And that might be another safety car. Steve was in for a drive-through, so...
doesn't look like it's going to be anything, Riggs. Lofty's looks like he's going to make a move on Charlie here. Down the inside.
Oh, easy as you like. Charlie on the outside, Lofty on the outside of Charlie into turn 4. Turn 4 and 5, sorry, into the chicane. Colden's left the session after his retirement.
Here he goes again. Looks like Scott's got the ERS out. Tactical overtake. Cowan has virtually let him go, and now by doing that, he's allowed Gareth to come alongside him. And they're going to fight side by side.
Oh, and there's a car off in the background, Max. There's a car off in the background at the chicane, and it's the Renault Hypers. Just, again, on they're side by side, Gareth and Maxwell. And Maxwell's going to have, Gareth's going to have Cowan's slipstream. Are they going to make it 3 wide? Gareth going to push Maxwell to the outside. The McLaren's hard running the outside, inside in the triple chicane. Are we going to see Gareth keep the position he is?
Scott's losing places. Riggs is overtaken by Lofty and Charlie in the last 10 seconds.
And I think that might maybe be
the inside of Dolphin, sorry.
Oh my god, everything's happening.
In the final section
and that's
now.
Hypers.
Oh my. All breaking loose here. Oh, that's close to the wall.
Honestly, racing, nothing quite like it here in Bit 3 as Hypers dives into the pits. So he must have damaged then.
Sure.
I want to see if he's... We'll see if he's got a wing sorted at Renault. We'll see if he is going to come in for repairs. Honestly, Merckx, I don't know. We'll have a set of mediums to go to the end for here.
I think this is right. Oh, Baggy's out.
Oh, and that's Baggy! Baggy!
Turn 3, virtual safety car, hard to the end. With the Grand Prix for Hypers. And, well, it's a Hail Mary, I think, from Hypers now. But we do have a VSC for Baggy Fan at turn 3. The classic Spinala.
Right, definitely. Into the wall on the right hand side. But honestly, Merckx, that corner is like, just
horrible.
Talk about.
On old tyres as well, that is probably a death corner.
Like,
you get the line wrong.
Like,
Hypers has got a penalty for something as well. Did he speed in the pit lane?
And I think that might be a drive-through for speeding under the safety car.
Lofty's got
it. Lofty's got one and not. Right.
Hypers is retired on track. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Your championship is decided.
And that is that.
Yeah. Yeah, cheers, Dark Center, mate. Kiss of death. No worries. Former Div 3 champion has given Hypers the kiss of death right there. Lofty definitely has a drive-through for speeding under VSC. But we are underway again, Riggs. Grumpy Orange is still in the lead.
Definitely, and Lofty is right underneath the rear wing of the Williams. But that's and Lofty's away!
He's out.
He's away! And if this is a safety car, I swear to God.
What
if that's
going on in this race?
Hypers is probably threw it away.
I don't know.
Is that a full
it's
course?
A full
oh my
car.
God!
It's a full
Hypers, no!
I don't know if he would have, Riggs, because I don't think he'd have got round to the pit lane by the time the safety car came out. If you know what I mean.
No.
If you think about it.
I don't know.
Because he was a long way back. He was only on this part of the track. Anyway, there's only 11 drivers left. Out of 18.
I'm not gonna lie, Max.
I mean, hopefully we get paid after this, because Jesus Christ.
Like, if we're... Like, I don't even know where to start with all this.
Yeah.
Like, because if you were hypers, I can get the race can be...
I don't think they got background to serve the drive-through in time for the safety car, because by the time the VSC ended, it was about 10 seconds before Lofty had binned it. Yeah, I don't know what to say either, to be honest, but I guess we can start from the start. When we got booted, turns out it was a safety car for a massive crash, then we don't have a clue what happened. And then there was a few laps, and then another safety car for Cameron spinning at turn 3 and crashing, and then Russell went straight into him, so they had an airplane crash. And then Jester drove straight into them, into the Ferrari, I think it was, as for the drivers in the pits, Grumpy Orange pits, for the medium compound tyres. A wise choice, I think. I think that is a wise choice to do another one stop from it. You got a free stop, really, if you think about it, and then you finish on the softer compound tyres. So if you can, there's only 11 people left. So yeah, we'll see, but. And then after that we had Jester drove into Russell, and the safety car decided to absolutely punt Jester's car to the middle of next week. And then just after that safety car restart, I think first lap after that, Colden crashed on the exit of turn 20. Then after that, Baggy crashed at turn 3, causing a VSC, which Hyper's pit under. And then as he came out, he sped under that VSC and then retired on track. And after that VSC ended, Lofty put it in the wall, which is where we're at now with the safety car. And Steve-O is waiting for him, and then it should be in the next lap. But our person who will be champion at the end of this 28 laps, whenever that may be, is going to be dodgy. Whether he will round it off with a win or not, who knows at this point. Because, yeah, I can't predict who's going to be on the podium, but it's going to be... It might be slightly unusual at this rate.
No, honestly, I can't keep up with it, because you've got drivers like... You've got everybody on the mediums having to stop again anyway. I'm not going to lie, Max. If I was maybe Grumpy Orange, I would have maybe kind of rolled the dice and went in hards than the one stop.
Hards are very slow around here, though.
As you were saying, like, the tyre delta between the mediums and the hards is quite heavy. And then, like, you cannot obviously want to be quick. Also want to be quick. Obviously, that's kind of the point of the race. But, like, it's, like, do you want to try and keep track position? Like, Scott's went soft, so we can definitely... Scott's going to have to stop again. But I think Scott will be one to watch on the restart, because the tyre delta in race conditions is quite different. So he might make a few places up. What's Charlie, Geddes and Cowan going to do? They're on 10 lap old mediums.
Well,
like, are they going to stretch to about lap 15, 17, 18, then go soft? Like,
yeah.
What is the plan?
I don't know what the plan is at this point. Yeah. Well, I said that every driver is going to make one more stop to the end of this race. Well, that changed completely. But I do think now everybody still is going to have to make one more stop. Well, we'll see what Grumpy Orange and Maxwell can do. But they could get to the end. You never know. With the amount of safety cars there are, but their tyres are going to be pretty horrible. So I do expect them to pit again. Wait and see.
Max. Honestly, I don't know if you might need to check the race director to kind of prove me wrong on it, right? But I think they've both done it. But Ken, who this kind of favours? The two McLarens?
The two.
They could probably stretch to the end.
To be fair, Steve-O, out of absolutely nowhere,
'Cause-
is back in this race.
Definitely, I would honestly
Let's
agree
have a
with
look
that
at the
100%.
stops. Steve-O's made 3 stops. I don't think a drive-through counts as one of those stops either. So
No, I don't think so. No.
So he's been through the pit lane 4 times. Yeah, I mean, only the other day or whenever it was 10 years ago since Jenson Button did the old 6-stop strategy or 7-stop strategy or whatever it was to win the Canadian Grand Prix. Could Steve-O get his first ever podium in I'm probably jinxed it right now, but you know,
There's a nice kiss of death.
he has been
but-
pretty much out of this race since like lap 1, so you never know. Safety car in this lap anyway, Riggs.
Definitely, we'll see Charlie lead the pack away.
Oof.
Oh, and he gets a wee slide off the exit of the final corner. Everybody's getting a wee cheeky slide of the rear at the final corner this race on the restart. But it is Charlie that maintains the lead. Dodgy stays in P2.
Oh, Grumpy
Everybody
Orange
kind
on
of
the inside,
maintaining
Riggs.
position. Oh, and Grumpy Orange is forcing his way through, and that's by
There's a
Dingo
spin
Dolphin.
There's a spin at Dolphin's round.
Oh, and that's Dolphin.
He's been in
and-
contact with his teammate at turn 2. Yeah, the poor momentum coming out of turn 1 after Grumpy Orange made the pass and there's contact between teammates. So Dolphin is down 7 seconds, or just under 7 seconds behind Steve-O.
And it's going to be Scott is one person that I thought was going to maybe get a good launch, but I think he kind of got caught up with his teammate there, Grumpy Orange. Is he going to go for a late move on Sprightly? Sprightly's went late on the brakes, and he just keeps the place. Grumpy Orange might go for a run. Sprightly gets a bit of a slide on. Grumpy Orange up into 6, but Sprightly's no getting up. He's 8, and he's going to try and get some slipstream. And Scott's coming into the battle as well.
My.
And he's going to go. He's going to make it free wide. Does he know? He's going to just slot back in. He's going to go inside of Sprightly though. Sprightly just gives him enough room, and Scott just has to settle. So Scott just went from being absolutely nowhere to right back in the picture there, Max.
Dodgy right on the back of Charlie still. Jay Geddes has not got the pace of these front 2, and he's kind of the cork in the bottle at the moment. But he can bide his time as he's currently in that podium position. But yeah, it's a lot of action going on. But Scott is the man on the mission at the moment, and so is Dodgy in P2.
And we'll just jump back on board with the midfield battle. I think Charlie and Dodgy might maybe just be biding their time trying to build any kind of gap, because Jay Geddes is starting to become the bottleneck. As you see the battle for P3 starting to stem between Jay Geddes all the way down to, I would honestly say the two McLarens, like Steve-O and Maxwell, are still kind of in it. Like everybody, like 3rd down to 10th have a real solid opportunity for a podium.
Honestly, Riggs, anyone could get a podium right now.
Oh, sorry, to cut you off. Grumpy Orange up the inside his teammate on the hairpin.
Oh, go on, Grumpy
Grumpy
Orange. Look at him go.
Grumpy Orange dive bomb up the inside of the hairpin, just taking even me and you be surprised there. Gareth had to kind of steer out it there for a split second, and here comes Cowan on the inside of Geddes. Geddes goes late on the brakes. Grumpy Orange. Wee bit of wheel banging.
Look at this. Look at him go. He's a man on a mission. Is he going to go again? Surely not.
Is he going to go for Geddes? We'll see. Geddes keeps it on the racing line. Grumpy Orange up the inside onto the podium.
Oh my word.
Up into P3.
Well,
we got a clean air.
This is incredible driving from... Oh, there's contact in the background between Scott and Gareth. I don't know. Damage is from a bit of end plate. Sprightly's got a time penalty to his name. First of the remaining drivers. There's a lot going on. I think I saw some end plates flick up from somewhere. That is Maxwell.
Is Maxwell got end plate damage?
He has got
because
end plate
I seen one of the McLarens going off it.
Actually, both
on
of them have got damage, so it's just gone downhill for McLaren.
Well, there's the jinx.
There's the jinx. But yeah, Cowan and Jay Geddes going at it. And looks like Gareth is going to have a look. No.
He might maybe make it into turn 4 if he's close enough. Are we going to see him go late on the brakes? Are we going to see him wait to the hairpin? Or onto the straight rather. Scott as well getting in the battle. Gareth will need to watch his mirrors as well as the guy in front. Jay Geddes will have the DRS, so this could be a
So
saving
there's
grace
dodgy
for the
rigs.
Bill driver.
So there's dodgy. He has another bite of the cherry down the next straight.
We'll see if he can get the run on Charlie. I think he's close enough to make some kind of move.
He's holding back
He's
for
got
now.
a wee bit of, he's got a wee bit of battery to use down the straight, but no quite enough room. Gareth up the inside to get us though. Into turn 11. Outbreaks him, same move as his teammate just the previous lap there. And I seen some end plate damage there as Sprightly's run. Sprightly in the wall. And that's another driver. I think he's got some damage. I'm trying to see if I can get a picture or a broadcast camera at his rear wing, but he is back on the track and resuming.
He hasn't got any damage. Any visible damage anyway, but he's a long way back now.
But I'm going to change it back to the interval because I was getting a bit flustered with the timing screens there. But Dodgy right on the back of Charlie. Grumpy Orange, I would say closing in. He is even into this gap. And Scott couldn't quite get the softs fired up, so this will probably be mediums to the end. Alright, there it is. Brand new, fresh set. Medium tyres should take him to the end. They're leaving laps.
I think Charlie's been a bit slap. So he's going to have
Charlie...
to pit soon and extend those soft compound tyres because those mediums are very second hand, to say the least.
No.
Oh,
Dodgy's gone for a late move. Oh, and Charlie just lean on the space there, and Dodgy honestly looked like he was going to take Charlie away from him. I like honestly, Mercs, like the medium tyre, that's weird. Like the performance does, like it does say to you like, oh, they can daily up to 18, 19 laps, but see about lap 13, 14, they just go like that. They just drop pace, like, and I think that's what's happened with Charlie. I think he's just put a wee bit too much on the tyres, as Maxwell does get his way back through past Jay Geddes.
He's gone deep. Charlie's gone deep. He's really struggling at the moment. And holding up Dodgy a little bit, and that's allowing Grumpy Orange to close in this final sector. But he's still 3.5 seconds back. Does Charlie pit? No, he stays out. Ooh. He's carrying on. So watch his tyres. Has he saved some in reserve? And is this going to allow as Gareth makes a move? No, he doesn't make a move because Catwan is in the pit lane.
I was just scrolling down quickly to see what had happened. I thought he had spun because his dot had stopped on the map. So, but he is into the pits probably for a set of softs. Most likely, it'll be guns blazing to the finish. Yep, set of soft tyres should see him to the end. Charlie does have some. They both have some battery here. So Charlie does. Oh, and Dodge's got a wee bit of a slide, and that's going to ruin any kind of run he had into the chicane. He'll get close enough for the go into turn 11 though, so he will get another go at it. But Charlie's doing everything. Dodgy late on the brakes, up the inside. Charlie's gone for the switchback, run the outside. Oh, a wee cheeky tap there, but he does just manage to keep the place. Dodgy looking like he might just be getting a wee bit impatient now, Max.
Yeah, he is a bit. He's used up all that battery as well, that he had a little bit of an advantage. And once again, Grumpy Orange closes in by a few tenths. And yeah, he can still get to the end of the Grand Prix from here. Let's not forget that. His tyres will be very second hand by then. He has all the cards on his chest at the moment. Are you talking
about Orange? Is he actually? Is he done 2 tyre compounds though? Because I think he's done medium. He was definitely on the mediums. Has he done mediums?
He might have. He has done one stop. Yeah, he did do medium, so he's going to go again. But yeah, he has the fresher tyres out of everyone, pretty much, apart from Maxwell. And the other people pitted, but the only ones that haven't pitted again yet, there's Gareth pits, so he's going to get an undercut on his teammate. So watch out for Gareth even towards the end of this race. I mean, it is still anyone's game. The longer Charlie leads, the closer I feel this race is going to be on the last few laps.
It really is going to be one of it, and you can see as well now, Mercs, that Dodgy does still just have the DRS there. He did get a slide off the hairpin, so he'll still get the DRS, but that's going to help him close the gap in. But Grumpy Orange, the gap is kind of stagnating a wee bit. It's kind of back up to 3.1. It was down into the high 260s, 2.7s. So it really is kind of just in that kind of yo-yoing back and forward there. But it really, honestly, Kenhout actually kind of does play into the hands, eh? Was it in Maxwell's hands? 6.8 seconds off Orange, 10 seconds off the lead, and I think he has done 2 stops. Let's see. Stops.
Yeah, we have heard from Hypers in all this. He says, well done to Dodgy, he had a great season. Shame it had to end like this, but nonetheless, it's been a pleasure. I'll take the retire on track pen as well. Too frustrated to make my way to the pits, is what he said. And we have some pit lane action in the form of Charlie, in the form of not Dodgy. He carries on, so he's going to get undercut if Charlie has a good lap. Grumpy Orange carries on once again, as you expect. Jay Geddes should come into the pit lane. And does.
Well, here's a wee hypothetical for you then, Max, right?
I'm just going to have a look on board with Cowan while you say this.
So if you're on board, if you're Dodgy now, right? Hyper's, your championship rival is out the race. No chance of losing the title. Do you maybe go bold in the strategy now, knowing that there's no theory losing it in the championship?
To be honest, Riggs, there's not really anything you can do apart from pit. There's no fancy way because he can go to the end, but his tyres will be just, well, worn, to say the least. Yeah, I think he's just going to have to pit because he's obviously quicker than Grumpy Orange on fresher tyres behind him. When he gets it done, as Dolphin makes a move on Sivo. Yeah, I think he's going to get undercut by Charlie. Depending on if Charlie gets held up in this final sector by the 2 cars ahead of him. But yeah, I think he's just going to have to pit and just try and cover him off.
I think it will probably just be... I think Dodgy might need to cover Charlie off, because if he does cut through the traffic like you say, then Charlie will definitely be getting Dodgy some close company at the end of the race, should Dodgy stay out. But is he going to come out of the pits, Mick? Are you watching at the front? I think he's gone again.
He's gone again. Charlie's in a bit of traffic at the moment. Oh, he's at the back of Steve-O. And that will just be the difference in tyres, as Charlie's practically pushing him through, and Steve will better not be pitting because Charlie's up the inside at the final corner. And he does get the move done. It did look a bit ragged on the broadcast cameras, but don't think he'll be complaining. A move is a move, and up into P4 into some clean air, which is crucial for his strategy, and it might make Dodgy think twice about what he's planning to do for his strategy, because it'll be very nip and tuck should he stay out. Because if you're looking at the gaps of the Numex, I don't know how long a pit stop is here, but the gap between himself and Dodgy is 18.3 seconds. So it could be, I think it's quite a short pit lane. It's a long exit, but it's a short pit lane. Yeah, I'm not too sure. But at the moment, Charlie is gaining and will undercut him. But Dodgy will have fresher tyres. Should he decide to pit, he doesn't have to pit, of course. But I'm pretty sure he'd be close to getting a puncture. The wear's not too bad actually, but his tyres will be pretty knackered, is the technical term that I'm going to use.
Definitely, tyres have definitely seen better days. One driver we've not really kind of touched on. He's in, so he's going to have to respond. So one driver we've not actually really, one driver we've not really talked about, Max, is his teammate Cowan. Back of the grid, definitely got a disqualification, like for his quali ban, up into 6th, and potentially on to the end. He'll be on the same piece of track as his teammate when he comes out. Probably.
Yeah, he needs to get past Steve-O though, sooner rather than later, because Steve-O is definitely holding him up. Here comes Grumpy Orange through the pit lane. He's going to get undercut by Cowan, and Cowan is really getting held up by Steve-O here. As Gareth has jumped his teammate as well, but Grumpy Orange have fresher tyres, so the gap is 4.6 seconds. As Maxwell leads, but does have a time penalty to his name.
And that'll really kind of be playing into the hands of Charlie and Dodgy, who are going to be charging them down. Cowan's going to have the DRS on Steve-O as well. Gareth and Grumpy Orange both in this battle as well, and this is for P4. Cowan on the brakes from the outside. Steve-O just squeezes him out, shuts the door. Gareth looks up, Grumpy Orange right on the back of this train, and I think Cowan might go for it again here. Steve-O will probably have to keep the car to the left. Cowan will need to go the long way, and we'll see how the day into the hard braking zone. Cowan, is he going to let the car roll? He does, but that's just going to allow Gareth from the inside. And the two Williams are gone for it, and one's picked up the bollard. And Steve-O is really, he's kind of really played into the hands of the Williams here, because Cowan wanted past, and now Cowan's going to have both Williams on his neck. Oh, and Grumpy Orange inside his teammate. This is intense. And Grumpy Orange, Grumpy Orange just overtook his teammate. What? Gareth, pack your bags, mate. I'm on my way.
I think he's pulled his pants down quite literally there.
Scantied.
Cowan's going side by side again. How aggressive does he want to be this time?
Orange. Grumpy Orange. Honestly, Nick, see if Grumpy Orange gets by Steve-O into the chicane, or maybe even early on the straight, he's gone for Cowan.
Yeah. Charlie made a move for the lead in all of this, and Dodgy has caught right up to him.
Charlie.
Go on down the inside. Go on.
That's bold. And he's just kind of pushed Steve-O out. Maybe that one was a bit late, but I think Steve-O was, his awareness was...
Fair enough, Dodgy's about to make a move for P2. Well, I say he was. I think he's messed up his braking a little bit.
Abu Dhabi really brings the best out of people. Like, it really does. Grumpy Orange, honestly, Max, I think he's going to close that gap to Cowan.
He's got a time penalty.
Cowan might have...
I haven't said that.
Nah, well, Dodgy on the inside of Maxwell into the
Gareth and
double
Steve
right.
As well in the background, sorry.
And Gareth does make his way past the Williams, and the Red Bull Geddes is in the background. Steve-O getting a wee bit of slide on.
3 seconds. And closing. Charlie versus Dodgy for the race win. I think Charlie has led most of this race phases, so yeah.
Max, I'm on board with Grumpy Orange, and he's already on the back of Cowan.
He is on another level.
The man is on a charge.
Never seen him so aggressive. As Steve-O finally fits. And it is...
Grumpy Orange will be sitting here. He'll be sitting here saying, why can we not do Abu Dhabi every week?
Can we drive here every week? That is what the tune is going on in that Williams car right now. As Dodgy closes within half a second already since he got past Maxwell. And Maxwell is dropping off. Could this be the fight for the podium?
I'm on board with the Williams. He has got the DRS. He's got the battery deployed. Cowan's got the flashing light. The sign's running out. Grumpy Orange up the inside. Cowan's late on the brakes. But Grumpy Orange is just that bit later and does have the track position. And he does say your famous catchphrase, see you later. Get binned. And Grumpy Orange up into 4th.
Yeah.
Continue.
Wow. Has this got one more sting in the tail yet? Or our championship will be, or our championship winner elect, whatever you want to call it. Is there one more sting in the tail for this race win? Or will Charlie win? Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, Cowan needs to try and stay with Grumpy Orange. The yellow flag, and that is an Alpha. No, is that a Red Bull? Jay Geddes, I think. And Scott have come together. Well, it looks a bit.
And the triple right, and Sprightly's gone slow as well at the back of the circuit on the triple chicane. So I don't know if it's just
Got
there's been
damage.
two. Jay Geddes is AM plates. He's got AM plates on that car. He'll need to pit.
Yeah, I think
Which
there
he
was an incident
does.
between Scott, by them just being on the same part of the track. As a Sprightly is sort of let Steve-O go. Steve-O will probably get one World Championship point. That's right.
Oh,
But yeah,
Steve.
looks like Scott and Jay Geddes had an incident together, possibly, and then Sprightly had an incident all on his own at the triple chicane. He's having to pit as well.
And Sprightly has an AM plate on the right hand side of the car either, so he has the right hand side of the wing. But Grumpy Orange Max, 2.7 seconds off Maxwell, and is gaining. He does have the clean air. He doesn't really quite have the battery, so he'll save it up through sector 3. And Maxwell has no much more, literally 6% difference. So the battery is quite similar on the McLaren and the Williams.
Look,
Orange could be it.
if Dodgy is listening right now, I would sincerely love him to not overtake Charlie, so that Charlie could win his first race in Division 3. I would say that the driver I'm on board with now, Charlie, is probably the most improved driver this season. I'd go as far as to say that, because he's gone from performing just in those wet races to actually performing consistently now in the dry. He's certainly up there for one of the most improved drivers this season. Obviously, you could say plenty of people.
Sorry,
hello.
Grumpy Orange and Maxwell into turn 4. Maxwell's having to squeeze him out.
Must have made a
I've
mistake,
been sitting on
Riggs.
board with him.
He must have made a
Maxwell's
mistake. Maxwell, he's dropped right off this front too.
And Maxwell went wide on the hairpin, and it looked like a concession there, but Maxwell was probably just going for a wide entry to get early on the traction. Grumpy Orange and Maxwell stays on the racing line. Grumpy Orange up the inside, late on the brakes, gets the move done. Maxwell's going to sit his cell up for the switch back and try and reclaim the place. Gareth is right on the back of Cowan as well, Merckx, but we'll stay on board with Maxwell, see if he closes the gap. Closing, gaining, late on the brakes, no quite. Grumpy Orange takes 3rd place. Are we going to see the same with Gareth? He stays behind. It's all starting to heat up, slowly but surely. It's going to hit its boiling point soon, and Dodgy, as you were just saying there, you can want to see Charlie end the season with the most improved and a nice wee race win under his belt, but Dodgy is listening and he's like, I think I'll go against everything that you're saying. I want to win. So we could see a battle for the win as well, but I'm kind of intrigued on how this is going to go.
As much as I love Cal, and I would sincerely love more to see Grumpy Orange on the podium right now, because boy does he deserve it after the flashy overtakes he's made. Sprightly speeds into the pit lane. He got iconic for that. That's just showed on my screen because I'm not seeing all that stuff. But yeah, here we go then. Round number 1 for the battle for the lead, and Cowan is right on the back of Maxwell as well, and he's not using any overtake, and Gareth is right there as well, Riggs, and yeah, if Cowan can still stay within that 3-second zone, he will pick up that podium as well. So the fight for first and the fight for P3 at the moment.
And Maxwell goes to the left to defend. Cowan's going to go late on the brakes on the outside. He does get it done. Is Gareth going to try the same? He's going to wait until the next DRS straight. And Cowan does take P4. Maxwell just kind of starting to slide back. And I think that's just the mediums kind of hitting the cliff. So Gareth is in the slipstream. He's going to go late on the brakes. He did look like he was going to go for it, Merckx, but he backed out at the very last second. And Maxwell, you can just see the grip difference there on the McLaren and the Williams. The McLaren just hasn't got the car hooked up, and that's purely just because the car's not got any grip. And Gareth is looking this way and that to make any kind of move. Well, he's still got a wee bit of grip left, so he needs to make a move. We'll jump on board with Charlie. This race has felt like it's been on forever with the connection issues, the glitches, the disconnections and everything else. The safety cars have extended the life of this race. It didn't want it to end, but we're on the final lap and it is going to hit its conclusion. Dodgy is right on the back of Charlie and does have a considerable ERS advantage as well. Charlie will be kind of left with very little, and Dodgy will have the DRS. This could be Heartbreak City for the Ferrari team, as Charlie's going to have to keep it inside. Dodgy's going to go off the track.
Surely.
That's off the track. That's an off-the-track move there for Dodgy. He might have to concede the place again. That was off 4 wheels off there for what we've seen. That could stir the pot.
Another bite of the cherry there, Riggs. He's going to come back.
But he's not going to have the battery. His light's flashing. His light is blinking on the back of the car. So is Dodgy's. Dodgy's light is blinking or not. Is he going to go for a late move? He hasn't quite. And I think that might have been that. I don't know.
Driver of the day votes in the chat as well. Yeah, I don't know. It looks all 4 wheels off the track, if you ask me, but yeah, it looks like Dodgy is going to win this Grand Prix and win the championship with it, which is always a formality. Cowan and Grumpy Orange, keep an eye on that timing screen, because that is very close to 3-second barrier, so it's all to play for there as well.
Definitely, but we'll see Dodgy cross the line as he takes the checkered flag. The fireworks are set off as he becomes the new champion. Charlie does come home in P2. It's a very heartbreaking end, but his head can be held high for the strong stellar race and the improvement over the course of the season.
But just completely sliced that corner.
Is Grumpy Orange going to get P3? This is very nip and tuck. No. Oh, that is painful. 38 thousandths of a second.
I don't think I've been this disappointed since. I don't know, to be honest.
Since the last time you were disappointed.
Since the last time I've been disappointed.
That is a kick in the teeth, innit? That is a proper kick to the jaw.
That is.
Oh.
Cowan did take a fat corner cut at turn 20, however.
I mean, if somebody's seen it, there could be a claim.
Well, I don't know. There's 2 claims on the Alfa Romeos, to be honest, because we both said at the same time that Dodgy went for all 4 wheels off the track to make that move on Charlie. Charlie just stuck his car in the middle of the road. He didn't squeeze him, didn't do anything. It's just the nature of the track that does that. He could have easily gone to the outside and made that move, and then, yeah. Well, we still should celebrate Dodgy winning the title because it was a formality in the end. Sprightly is the only person to miss out on the points. No. But yeah, it was a formality once Hypers DNF'd.
Well, who would you give driver of the day to? Because folk are quite split for what I'm seeing, because folk are saying Orange, folk are saying Cowan. Who would you give it to?
Orange for the overtakes. To be honest.
Honestly, I'd say the same. Like, it's no no disrespect to Orange, and I think he'll probably be absolutely fine with me saying it, but he's no one that you see fighting for good results every day. And I think he's kind of been robbed of a podium, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I think obviously, well, we've got to give it to Cowan, to be fair. He's not pick up any penalties. He's on the podium again as well. So I'm happy for him. So I just wanted to see Grumpy Orange on the podium because he hasn't been on the podium. So I wanted to see Charlie to win, and he hasn't won. So yeah, I don't know if that's a curse or they're just Alfa Romeo spite me at this point. Just wanted to see something different. But to be fair, Cowan going from 18th to 3rd is very good as well. Steve-O picks up a point for fastest lap after all that as well.
He's saving.
Did his best
he's saving grace there.
Aye. Yeah.
We'll do a race rundown, and it is Dodgy and Charlie 1 and 2 in the grid, 1 and 2 in the race, and Dodgy goes for the late pounce and gets the win and secures his name on the SLR Division 3 Championship trophy. Alongside that, as we're going to get them into the party for the final interviews for the season. Cowan 18th to 3rd qualifying ban sees him just beat Grumpy Orange onto the podium there. That is a killer blow. Alfa Romeo's really no holding any punches this weekend. Maxwell in P5 was just kind of losing the grip near the end. Gareth P6, quiet race for him as well. Dolphin P7, Scott P8. Steve will take the fastest lap point in P9. Jay Geddes will round out the points in P10. But I will be getting everybody in the top 3 in, and we'll get to hear from them for the final time while we get the lobbies set up for some celebratory donuts and formations and everything else.
Yes, so we've got everyone in. We do, so include your audio. I'm sure you all know how to do that by now. But yeah, we'll start off with the man who finished P3, and that was Cowan from the back of the grid. Much to my dismay on comms. No, I'm joking. Yeah, well done on the 3rd place once again. You're back on the podium got there on the final race. Another double Alfa Romeo podium. How eventful was that race for you?
Oh, that was mental. Just from the start, I thought I was knackered because I had a bit of an issue with a McLaren in them doing a carousel in front of me at the start, and then I thought, right, I'll have to go in now and it was constantly the safety cars. I was just constantly thinking, what's my tyre strap? What am I doing? I'm doing the one stop. And I just focused on the one stop. That's what I wanted to do. So, yeah, it was mental. I know I was behind Geddes for a bit. I just couldn't get past him for a bit. He was in front of me, he held me up a bit, and then at the end there, that was mental. That was all. Just go for it. Try and get him in that 3 seconds behind Grumpy, just to take him off the podium. And a massive well done to Dodgy there. Excellent Dodgy, mate. Class.
And yeah, obviously, got your teammates got the title, and yeah, I mean, on the podium again. I think it was 0.03 something. I don't know. But yeah, it was keeping an eye on that gap for the whole last lap. It was 2.9. It was 3.2. It was everything, and then just enough in the end. So yeah, well done on the P3.
I think it was just a tie strat because the original champ helping me doing the tie strat, so it got me through it, I think.
Yeah, well done.
Cheers.
So on to our P2 finish at SLR Charlie on the podium once again for Ferrari. Yeah, obviously almost got the win. You were in the lead for most of that race in the end. Yeah, how do you feel about that finishing P2 when you're so close to finishing P1?
Yeah, I'm happy with P2, but obviously it would have been a lot nicer to get the win. But anywhere in the top 10 I would have been happy after today, because in lap 1, the whole T1 shenanigans, I left that lap with no wing or anything like that, but then the safety cars kind of saved me. So, yeah, so I was trying to hold Dodgy off, similar to Singapore. But he's so fast, it's so hard to keep him behind. So I were happy that I kept him behind for that long. But I don't know what he has against me, but he don't like to give me any wins. But yeah, well done to Dodgy on the championship, like massively deserved. And yeah, that was my race.
Yeah, well done, Peter. Obviously, commiserations for not winning. Obviously, you'd love to finish the season on a high, but I think you've had a successful season anyway. And yeah, I think you got to look forward to next season, hopefully. So well done.
Yeah, cheers.
Yeah. So Dodgy, SLR Dodgy, you are officially world champion. How does that sound?
Sounds like this.
Oh, you had that prepared already.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's been a long season. There's been a lot of ups and downs. I mean, obviously Hyper's took me all the way. It wasn't the end race that we all wanted, or what I wanted, or what Hypers wanted, unfortunately. But it materialised the way it did, and obviously once I knew Hypers was out of the race, I was able to relax, and I think that helped. And Charlie, again, I'm sorry, but I just had to take you on the last lap again.
No, it's not good enough.
But it's amazing. Yeah, it's great. It's a great feeling. It's nice to have got there. Obviously, I was in with contention for that last year for a large chunk of the season, but unfortunately towards the end, pitted off a bit. But yeah, it's nice to come back this season, season 6, and was it season 6 or was it season 5? I can't remember now. Season 6, yeah, and come back and do it again. So yeah, it's a great feeling. Finally done it.
Finally, when you watch it back, please don't kill me because I really wanted Charlie to win. So,
you said that in Singapore as well, I'm sure.
I also wanted.
I'm getting flashbacks.
I also wanted Grumpy Orange to get the podium, and then Cowan just snuffed that off me as well. So the Alfa Romeos were annoying me, but you were quick enough to get past. So you deserve those positions. So yeah. Well done on the championship.
Thanks very much.
Well done.
Thank you.
On another
Well done,
Alfa Romeo.
Excellent.
GG's.
Nice
boys.
job,
Over to you, Wrigley.
Well, this is kind of when the commentators maybe they kind of split the room a wee bit, because I've been monitoring the driver of the day votes, and I've counted up 5 for Cowan and 4 for Orange, but I've kind of me and Max have kind of leaned towards Grumpy Orange, so I think Grumpy might get it if we
I'll
count our
vote
votes.
Cowan.
Right, well, you've just made my job harder then. So,
Up the Alphas.
well, if I could see if I could split it, I could, because they had 2 very different races. Because Cowan, after his qualifying ban, is sitting here talking to us on the podium, and then you had Grumpy Orange pulling off moves like you could only dream to make. Like, he was sitting overtaking his teammate into the bit underneath the hotel, and I was like, alright, okay, when you go then, big in. Like, and 2 very different races, and I mean, if you're going to get the podium, I think it would have been a bit different, but I mean, 38,000 to a second in it. Alfa Romeo taking Dodgy taking the lead on the final lap, and Cowan knocking Grumpy Orange off the podium. Alfa Romeo came to Abu Dhabi with a ruthless streak about them, so anything to get the job done, I suppose. Right, well, Summers has voted Cowan. I don't think he's voted, so that kind of weighs it towards Cowan then, unless Charlie's want to split the vote even further, so I'll maybe let Charlie vote on that, and then
I'll go for Cowan as well, I think.
right,
Coliban's a podium
Yeah,
is
just-
something you don't see a lot.
Ah well, just kick Grumpy Orange while he's still doing them, I suppose. But no, anyway, I don't really have much more to say other than the usual. Just well done to the top 3 and to everybody, because that race honestly was we missed the start. We got booted out right at the start. We came back in, and then the first thing we knew there was a safety car. So we don't really know what happened there. The connections over the course of the week, over the session, has probably took out the drivers, because we are just finishing up at 25 past 11.
Dodgy. I say Dodgy, do you want to pick your car, but you've already done that.
Yeah, I've done it.
But don't let us behind your back. We'll still kind of let the stream run out while you go and do your celebrations. But anyway, Dodgy, congratulations on the championship. It's been a hard-fought season. Hypers and everybody on the grid was giving you a relative good run for your money, and it took you to the final race to secure it. He didn't have the race that he honestly, when one thing happened, it just kind of, the domino effect just kind of kicked in, and it was the way that he wanted to end the season, and he's congratulated you in the chat as well as the server. So the celebrations will be kind of gone a bit late into the night. So, but I can't really say much else other than that. Your name's on the trophy, and your legacy's made.
A few stats for you, Riggs.
I go for it.
So, Lofty actually won the most races out of anybody this season and had the most pole positions.
Yeah.
So, and he...
Lofty helped me massively today.
Just that massive period in the middle of the season, and he could have easily put his name in for the the championship. Yeah, so 5 wins for Lofty and 5 pole positions. I don't know if all his wins were from pole. Having said that, but yeah, that is the kind of thing.
That is the kind of thing. So, but they'll
Hypers with
probably
the most
put the
podiums as
stats. Hypers with the most podiums as well, so there'll be plenty of.
I guess I was the most consistent then.
Definitely, consistency's what wins you the title at the end of the day. But there'll probably be like admins and team drivers that have all this, like, all these stats kind of like collected and ready to be published when they've got the time. So, but I don't let us hold you back for the celebrations, because I think everybody is kind of keen to obviously just kind of wrap up the race and wrap up the season. So don't let us hold you back for that. But anyway, just to extend our congratulations once again. Your name is in SLR Legacy, so there is always that. And there's always next season and seeing how the drivers fare once we take to the track on a new game.
Yep.
But,
Cheers, boys.
I want to see some donuts. That's what I want to see.
Exactly. Tell them they can get going, because we'll sit and just round out the stream and record it. But if you want to go and do your donuts, Sprightly's sitting comment in the chat. Come on, let's get it going. So on you go and get them done. We'll record them for the first few minutes while we do our final conclusion and round out the season as a whole.
Lovely. Cheers, boys, again on the commentary.
Cheers, lads.
As usual.
Yeah, you've done really well.
Yep, cheers, lads.
boys.
I'll see you later.
No worries. So that is that. Merky, we're done for the season, and we're actually done as a duo for the new anyway.
Yeah, for the new, as you say.
For the new.
Yeah, I've still got my last race to do tomorrow. We do have some donuts, some spinellas, some continuous spinellas.
Aye. We'll sit and just record the first couple, and then we'll conclude the stream. So
yeah,
aye, it's been
a interesting season, to say the least. I mean, can barely remember. We're on race 22. 20 had been 23 weeks ago, because we had or 22 weeks ago, whenever it was, because we had a break week at one point. But yeah, I can barely remember Australia, to be honest.
well.
I can't remember
I'll ask you
what happened
then. I'll ask you then. While we've still got some viewers, I think we've got 22 viewers. So I want to just say hello to everybody that is staying about for some donuts. But
see what their
what would you say is
favourite.
your best race this season?
See what the viewers, people still here, if they can remember.
For
their
the
favourite
viewers, I like saying as what your favourite race was to watch over the course of the season, and I'll ask you that, Max. What was your favourite race this season?
I mean, obviously, I think this race was quite good, to be honest. Even if the championship was already decided halfway through the race. I don't know. Another one, I think. I think there's races that you weren't here that were quite good that you missed.
Wow.
When I think you missed Maxwell winning in Britain and Gareth winning in Austria, which were both good races. I remember the Hypers winning on the last lap in Vietnam was good as well. Let's have a look at Dodgy, see if he's going to do any donuts, or is Hypers going to absolutely send him into the shadow round. They're doing a parade lap.
I think they might be doing a
well,
formation.
actually.
Aye.
I forgot about that one.
Charlie's just bolted out at the distance. He wants to lead a lap or something. Oh, there it is. There we go.
Oh, here we go. No parade lap for these guys.
Well, one race that I would say was probably the best one this season. Canada.
That, yes, I completely forgot about that. And then once you said it, I do remember that. I think actually that was pretty. That was when it was like inters, and then it was dries and everything. Yeah, it was.
Had a good bit of everything, didn't it?
I think that actually, thinking about that, that was probably. Yeah, I'd say that was probably up there with being the first race. Everyone's just stopping, like having a meeting,
It's like
AGM
like a
or
car
something.
meet, innit?
F1 AGM or something like that. Don't really know what's going on. GTA car meet.
Yeah, and just like show off your flashes motors and up in Mount Chiliad or whatever, but I think everybody's just kind of doing them all in the one area. Charlie's just cruising about on the track, so I think he might be coming to this. There you go, nice 146.4. Gets them up there. Everybody's just getting some donuts on the go, and I think that kind of concludes the course of the season, innit? Like, well, favourite race, quickly Ash, obviously most improved. I think we kind of ken who wins that.
Well, quite a few. I guess you can say Cowan as well. I'd say there's obviously more than one. Now it's turned into a Wreckfest lobby, so yeah. I'd say Cowan, Charlie. Now they're going trying to do four people trying to do donuts at one time, simultaneously. But yeah, Cowan and Charlie. I'd say you could say Maxwell as well. But I'd say we always know that Maxwell's definitely had it in him. Yeah, I'd say Charlie or Cowan. But yeah, I don't know what other awards they have, but they obviously have driver of the season. To be honest, I think I'd give Maxwell driver of the season. To be honest, I know you could say championship winner, probably give it to them or whatever. But if you're going to give it to someone different other than championship winner, I'd say Maxwell would be.
Maxwell would be the first one to my mind, or not, to be fair.
Yeah.
I think he's been quite stellar when he needs to be. Qualifying might not always be on him, but the races always where the points are won and lost, and I think Maxwell always does his best to utilise his cell in the bad situations to get some good at it. Obviously, there will be the awards now.
Don't you just parked it up ahead of Hivers? That is beautiful.
There will be an awards night at some point, so obviously be sure to follow the SLR socials for that, because the administrators and the league organisers will have better clarity on that. So obviously just keep in touch with the socials, keep in touch with our admin team, and they'll get a date for that out soon. But we're not quite done with the season as a whole, because we've got the elite race tomorrow at 7 o'clock in the UK time, which is BST then, I think. So we're in the BST, 7 o'clock. If you want to see the elite drivers take to the track for the final time this season as well, they've got their championships decided, so it will just be a bit more a relaxed affair for Jamham as he and the rest of the grid take to the track them on, and that's where you'll see my co-commentator Mix taking to the track for the final time this season as well, and we'll see if he can get a nice wee win under his belt as well. So be sure to tune in for the commentary team for that. But anyway, for the final time this season, it's me and Mix signing off. Anything else you want to say, Mix, before we go?
No, I just want to say thanks for everything, really. If this is the last time that I commentate in SLR, I think someone's got the youngins out again. No, yeah, I just want to say thanks for letting me do this. For the first time with Steve-O, at the Spanish Grand Prix in season 4. To the last time with old Wrigley. Yeah, I think it's been a wild ride. Division 3 has obviously been the one I've done the most, and obviously Formula 2 as well. But yeah, for now it's goodbye. Maybe I'll see some of you again in the future. But yeah, I wish SLR all the best, and yeah, I got one more race to bow out. So yeah, that's all from me.
And that's all for us. We'll see you in the next stream.